to ensure that data in this committee is used accurately and portrayed accurately, and I want to talk about Donald Trump's favorite chart here, which we used yesterday. In this chart, titled Illegal Immigration into the U.S., Biden's world record illegal immigrants, many from prisons and mental institutions, also terrorists, Donald Trump has said this chart saved his life. And yesterday, in our full committee hearing, Republicans, my colleagues here, repeatedly used this chart to allege that the Biden administration has an open border policy. But this life-saving chart says, well, not what Republicans think it says. First of all, I don't know where the Trumpsters and Republicans of the world who like to trot out this chart get the idea that immigration into the United States is a, quote, world record, unquote, because recorded history is full of mass migration due to wars, due to famine, to disease, and opportunity in numbers so high, folks, it wouldn't even fit in this chart. So it's not a world record. Secondly, and it's almost embarrassing that I have to educate and explain to members of Congress and a former president, but when someone says that they're seeking asylum, and they're coming to the United States seeking asylum, that doesn't mean that they're literally coming from a mental institution. Third, as my friend, Congressman Garcia, pointed out yesterday, Republicans and former President Trump, they don't even know when Trump left office. This chart says that he left April 2020. Trump actually left office in January of 2021 when the numbers were rising and higher, actually even higher than during Obama's second term. Fourth, let's just keep going on this chart. The chart itself shows that when Trump came into office, the numbers actually began rising. The dip in numbers where Trump claims he left office is actually April 2020 at the height of the early COVID-19 pandemic when, folks, migration numbers were dropped globally. I know it's hard for you to see because you've been reading this and now you're finally realizing, oh my God, I've been saying lies. Trump was in office for another 9 months and those numbers actually were climbing. And lastly, this month, the month that they're talking about is not even the lowest during Trump's time in office or even in recorded history. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I want to thank the witnesses that are here today. I also want to recognize that just last week, we recognized the anniversary of the heinous 9/11 terrorist attacks that took the lives of 2,977 people. Futures stolen for 2,977 individuals. And actually, Congress created this committee, Homeland Security, to ensure that we'd protect the American people from terrorist attacks. Unfortunately, my Republican colleagues choose to use our committee time to spew false narratives, conspiracy theories, and racist tropes that point as immigrants as terrorists. Immigrants, like my mother and my husband, as terrorists, just to score cheap political points. So, look, we should be using this committee to actually discuss how we strengthen the federal government's ability to prevent and respond to terrorist threats by digging into the data and digging into the evidence. Folks, facts matter. We have to stop with the disinformation. But I guess when it comes to making charts for the former president, that doesn't apply. And I'm going to tell you, this committee is a serious committee. We have to use facts. So I want to use the last minute here. I want to come back to Mr. Norasta. Can you help us understand, because actually I think some of my colleagues don't understand, why are people coming to the United States and risking their lives the way that they are? And how does that help us economically?
The primary reason why immigrants come to the U.S. historically and today, legally and illegally, is because of job and labor market opportunities. If you want to do a regression analysis, you can see very closely that the job openings in the U.S. is closely correlated with the number of illegal immigrant apprehensions along the border and with people trying to come here legally. The best pull to come to the U.S. has always been the economy. It is still the economy. That is what's pulling people in. And the rapid economic recovery after COVID can explain more than any other factor, although some of the other ones do matter, can explain more than any other change in policy why there is such a rapid and large increase in illegal immigration.
Thank you so much, Chairman. I yield back.